In this series, we're going to be looking at Mac Management Basics. Don, can you tell us a little bit about this certification?
Sure. The Mac Management Basics exam, it's designed to introduce people to the world of, well, managing Macs, basically. And so it's kind of a neat one. It's part of Apple's training and certification path. And, you know, they've got several certifications. Let me just bring it up here on their webpage, the OS X Training and Certification Roadmap. They've got several, and it's gotten a little confusing because some have been upgraded to El Capitan and some haven't. But basically, you have these two certifications that are Mac Integration Basics and Mac Management Basics. They're two exams you can take. And when you pass either one of them, you get the Apple Certified Associate certification, the ACA. And an Apple Certified Associate is supposed to be someone who's out there in the field who's supporting Macs in a business or education type environment. So the ACA certification is that entry step, that first step on your journey to getting certified in the Mac world.
Now, when it comes to demographics on all exams, right, we have a certain body of people that this is for, whether it be an introductory, whether it be advanced or intermediate. Don, what can we expect?
All right, this one is definitely beginner, right? So you don't have to know a whole heck of a lot to be able to jump in and tackle this one. It's actually, I say it's one of the easier certifications to get. It's not that it's super easy, it's just that it's really stuff you use every day. You know, some certifications cover topics that are such fringe knowledge that you're not going to need. But this one, it's all practical stuff that you are going to use in the real world. So I know I really enjoy this one. It's one you can find an easy, tangible way to apply in your workplace. So you don't need a ton of experience, but you do need to be familiar with Mac OS. You do need to already know, how to get to system preferences and how to change basic operations, things like that, just really simple stuff. And then what we do is we basically take those skills and we say, all right, you know how to do it on one computer? Let's show you how to do it on 1,000 computers. And do it all at once, right? How to really manage these larger environments to go beyond what a home user would make use of. So if you've got a little bit of exposure to the operating system, you'll do fine with the rest of it.
As with any certification, there are going to be a series of topics and content that you're going to have to be aware of to be able to pass the exam. Don, what kind of topics can we expect to see inside of Mac Management Basics?
All right, well, I've got a little outline kind of fired up here. This is what we're going to build the show off of. And basically, it gets broken down into 6 or 7 different topic areas. We're going to start with creating system images. Most of us never have to install Mac OS because it comes on our Macs when we buy them. But if you want to have a standard image on all of your machines in your entire company, you'll need to create a system image. So we take a look at how to do that, and then we take a look at how to deploy those images, to roll it out on hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of computers so you have a consistent environment for all of your users. Then we take a look at managing those Macs. Once you've deployed them, how do you keep them nice and clean and running the way that you want? How do you lock them down for security purposes and just keep them configured the way you want? We take a look at how to do that with Apple Remote Desktop, which is a really cool utility from Apple. And we also use the Profile Manager, which is another one. 2 different tools. They perform a similar action, but you'll see in the show there's actually a difference between the two. Towards the end of the show, we jump into software updates because you've got to keep your Macs up to date, right? You've got to keep them with the latest security patches and application updates so they run smooth. And then we jump into the caching software service, which helps us to save bandwidth on the network. And we wrap up just talking a little bit about the differences between those because you have to pick one or the other. You can't deploy both. So those are some of the topics that we're going to be hitting throughout this series. And like I said, every one of these are real-world practical skills that you will use in a corporate environment where you use Macs.
Now, you've done your studying, you've watched the videos, you've gone out there and you researched. Now it's time to sit the seat. Don, how do I take this exam?
All right, well, this exam's a little different than a lot of the others that we do on IT Pro TV. You know, most of the time, you've got to go over to like Pearson VUE's website or somewhere to take the exam. But for this one, you can take it online right from Apple. That's another reason this is a great one to start out with because the content is good content. It's real-world stuff. It's not a ton of content. You can actually get used to it pretty quick. And then the exam is inexpensive and available online. So it's like a perfect storm of great things to make this a wonderful cert to get. Now, As of the filming of this episode, the 10.11 exam is not officially out. It's due out any day now. So for right now, if you want to take it, you'll have to take the 10.10 exam. But the 10.10 and 10.11 exams are almost identical. There's very little difference between Yosemite and El Capitan. In fact, the only real difference is in the disk utility. The disk utility changed in El Capitan. Otherwise, it's really about the same. So if you go to Apple's website, though, you can browse to training.apple.com/itpro/macmanagement1010/exam. And be sure to check if the 1011/exam is available, because by the time you watch this, it very well may be. Once you go to that site, here's where it tells you all about the exam and how you can register for it. It is a 2-hour exam. It's taken online. You can take it from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to go to an Apple Center or anything like that. You can just do it right from your own computer. It costs $65, and you can take the exam and you'll get a pass or fail score right then. You'll know if you're certified, and now you're an Apple Certified Associate. To take it, you go to training.apple.com/ACRS, and on that website, they'll have where you can register for the exam, take it, pass it, and get certified. So like I said, it's a great place to get started. I shouldn't say it's an easy exam, but I feel like saying that. You'll find that it's just not a huge volume of content, so it's easier to grasp the material, and it's something that you'll make use of in real life. So definitely one that I recommend, and one I think really works out for people that are wanting to get started in the world of Mac management. So if that sounds exciting to you, then you are in the right place. Stay tuned, because we've got Mac Management Basics for El Capitan OS X 10.11 coming up next. If that doesn't sound like your cup of tea, don't worry, you're not hurting my feelings. We've got plenty of Linux and Windows training available on the site. Be sure to check out our course library. But otherwise, enough of me rattling on. Let's get started with some Mac Management Basics.